Alright, the next video that I want to show you is some features that are available in the homework assignments. So we're going to go ahead and come into the assignments, and actually I have some samples that I'm going to go ahead and show you. These are not going to show up on your end, but just to kind of show you what we got going on here. If you want, one of the other ways that you can get into assignments, and I'm going to say use this mostly for review, is if you go over to the CCDM 114 My Math Lab Links module. Remember, you can access that from the assignment deadline page. And you can come over here to where it says All Assignments. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And you can basically come in here and look at all the assignments that you got. I'm going to come down to the bottom because, as I said, I made some sample ones. I'm going to click on Sample and I'm going to go to Improve My Score and click on a problem. Now, depending on whether you're doing this on a tablet or on a computer, you may see some different stuff. But the main thing that we have is over here on the right, you can go ahead and see the question numbers. You can also move this out of the way if you want more room, depending on what kind of problem you're looking at. Also, up at the top, you'll see arrows that you can scroll back and forth between each one of the problems. And then if you click on the answer box, we want to go ahead and input an answer. Now, because I am doing this on a tablet, I do have my keyboard down at the bottom. If you're doing it on a computer, you won't see this keyboard. All right, so the first line though, we have the increase, the answer box screen. You can also just enlarge either using your mouse or enlarging the screen. And there's going to be a couple things that you see here. We have the dot for the time symbol. We also have the division. And the ones that I do want to point out are the fraction features, either fraction, mixed number, we have the exponent, and we also have absolute value. If you click on More, you're going to see all sorts of other symbols that you can use. For instance, you have the square root, and I don't know how to get out of this now. Oh, I need to click on the, I don't know what I'm doing now. Oh, it's the ABC. All right, I usually do this on a computer. I don't like doing it on an iPad. All right, so for this problem, I'm going to go ahead and click on fraction because it says convert to an improper fraction. And I'm going to type in 19 over 3. I press enter, and you should get a window that says either excellent, good job, and it tells you that your answer is correct, and it'll take you to the next problem. Over here on the left, you can also keep track of which problems are right and wrong or partial credit by looking at whether it has a check mark, an X, or a kind of a combination of the two. All right, so if we look at problem number 2, I'm going to type in a wrong answer and I'm going to check it. And it will give you a hint, but keep in mind that these are most commonly missed errors. If you do something completely out of left field, this may not apply to you, but I do encourage you to read them anyway. So I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to go 5 times 105. I press enter, and again it says that that was not correct. And for some reason it is going to give me one more chance. You should only have 2 chances to complete these problems. And then it'll pop up with the correct answer. Also, if you do get the problem wrong, notice that when you look at the answer, up here in the top right, you see a little red mark in the answer box. If you hover over the answer box or just click on it, then you can compare what's in the answer box, which is the correct answer, and you can also see what did you answer so that you can go ahead and look at those two. All right, let's try another problem. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and point out a couple other features that you have here. If you look in the top right corner, you're going to see a gear. And if you click on this, there's a couple different things that you have. The main ones that I do want to point out is print. You are allowed to print a homework assignment. And you can do one of two things. You can print a question only, or you can print out the whole assignment. And you can do this either before you start the homework assignment or even after the homework assignment. I recommend, I know that me personally, I don't like doing things in front of a computer, even though that's where I spend all my time. But if I was a student, I would be one where I would like to print it and just take it with me and work on paper in front of the TV or probably somewhere more educational, and then go back and type in my answers. Some other features that I do want to show you, if you go down to the bottom left, you have Help Me Solve This. And basically what this is going to do is kind of be a step-by-step process to help you solve the problem. So for instance, I type in my answers. We multiply, and 12 times 7, I think that is 84. It is not in lowest terms because they are both divisible by 6. And so now we want to type in, I think it was our final answer, and so we should get 1 over 14. Now I'm going to tell you, the first time that I started working with my math lab, I really wanted to throw my computer through the wall, because I'm going to close this, and if you notice, what I did was I went ahead and typed that answer into the answer box. But if you notice, this is going to change the problem on you, and so you do need to do a similar problem. These are fantastic features to have, but make sure that you do not, that it does not become a crutch. Use it when you need it, but try not to use it all the time. And so now I'm going to type in my final answer, 1 over 18. And if we look over on the side right now, question 3 has an X. As soon as I click this, it does convert it to a check mark. All right, last problem. I'm also going to show you some other things. So not only do you have Help Me Solve This, you do have the video, and you can access that. If you go to Get More Help, there are a couple other things that you can do. There is textbook, and sometimes there will be animations. I don't know what the worksheet is, so if you want to play around with it, that works too. But the one that I do want to point out is the Ask My Instructor. And if you click on this, what you can do is type in a message and this can be anything from I don't understand how to do this problem, or I put a decimal point instead of a comma, or my comma was inside the square root and it marked it wrong. And what this does is it sends me a link so that I can go directly into the problem. And this way I'm not having to go into my Canvas course and then go into my math lab and go into my gradebook and then go to your name on my gradebook and then find the assignment and then try to find the problem. And I'm just going to tell you, somewhere along the way, I'm going to forget what I've done or what I was supposed to be doing. So if you do send this link, if you do this Ask Instructor, that is fantastic. Now, one of the things I do want to make you aware of is this does not go to my Canvas email. This goes to my external email. And so I think I mentioned when in the syllabus, the best way to get in touch with me is Canvas email. So if you do this, and please do, either send me a message in Canvas or text me and just say, sent you an email. That way I know that I need to check my external email. You only have to do that in this instance, so that I know I need to check my external email and then I can answer your question. Quite often I get so many emails going to my external, and as I am not checking it as much as I do on Canvas, it may get lost. So make sure that you do ask me. You can also text me a picture of the problem and I can answer you via text if it's pretty simple. Okay? All right, so the last thing I'm going to do is go ahead and finish off this problem. Now, for those of you who are using a computer, you can also use the slash. If you look down at the bottom next to the shift key, if you use the slash, it will also go ahead and type in a fraction for you. And so that's another thing you can do if you are one that doesn't like using the mouse all that much. If you notice here, notice that the icons in the top row have changed a little bit, that now you have the square root. You also have what we call an nth root. We won't be using that in here. And we also have the points, the parentheses for the points. The last thing, let's see here, I'm going to go ahead and click it. It's incorrect because I did not reduce. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce this real fast. And go check answer. The last thing I do want to point out is you also have down here on the bottom right, similar question. And it will go ahead and give you a new question to try. I'm going to go back to problem 2 because I did want to show you guys something else. I'm going to go ahead and do similar question. And 350, I'm going to try to do this correctly. So I know this is 2 times 7 times, you can do 5 times 5 times 5. Let's see if that's right. No, it wasn't. Oh, I think I have too many in here. This should be considered acceptable, but one of the other things that you can do is exponents. And so for instance here, we can do 5 cubed. The important thing to note is if you're doing square roots or absolute value or fractions or exponents, to get out of the square root or the exponent or anything, you do need to use the right arrow down at the bottom before you move on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check it. And it's still wrong, but that's all right. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so there is an example of some of the features that you will see in the homework problems. Note that you can go ahead and exit out of the homework, and you are allowed to go back in at any point. All right, that takes care of homework examples. The next video that I'm going to show you has to do with quizzes. I know we're still a few days away from the first quiz, but I do want to show you some of the important features on how to access that.